The forearm muscles out and back. Pulling the elbow down, rotating the wrist up where the knuckles are pointing down and the palm is pointing up. Pull it back to the side of your body. Simply repeat on the other side, guys. All right, that is the second section of the Siêu Nam Tao. Bob, I want you to practice on that as well. Don't worry if you don't get it right. It's the concept you want first, and then over time, this will become familiar, and you'll be a lot more comfortable with this over time, right? So, I'm only at 39 minutes. So, this is also for, now we're going into the section for John and Randy, right? This is the section for John and Randy. So now, once repeating, going through for palm to tan to hun to kun and back, this is now for John and Randy. But again, everybody go through this. Go through the entire part. From here, you're going to turn the palms up and lift the elbows without lifting the shoulder. The wrist should be bent, because what you're going to do is you're going to push your palm straight down with the force of the elbow, pushing it down hard. Repeat on the other side, because now you're learning to use both hands. Push down hard. The purpose for this is that when someone grabs your arm, trying to rotate your arm behind your back by pressing on your elbow, as your elbow is pressed up, you bend the wrist so that now you have more control. So as they're trying to pull it back, you push the elbow, forcing the elbow down. Because the only force they have is at the wrist, not at the elbow. They're pressing the elbow and pulling on the wrist to try and bend the arm behind you. So the force isn't, the greatest amount of control is at the wrist, not at the forearm. The forcing pressure is at the elbow. So if you get rid of the pressure, the forcing pressure from the elbow, then you can control the wrist. So again, as it goes up, you're pushing down very hard. From here, you're rotating the elbow up, bending the wrist, pushing down hard. So from here now, you're going to put your hands behind your waist, here, and from this point, you're going to push the forearms forward, snapping your wrist. Pushing, snapping. Again. This is to attack someone towards the hip or the thigh to push them back. We all know how I feel about that. I don't necessarily like that technique. There are other techniques that I like that work a little better, but you need to learn the entire system. So after that comes out, you pull it back, goes out, pull back, rotate the hands around the wrist, using the thumb as a line. Rotate the palm back, up in front, to here, to the chest. Both knuckles on the thumb should be pressing, the palm should be pointed, hands should be pointing slightly forward so that you can snap the wrist again. The snapping of the wrist is so that you cause control. See here? So that now you're using the direct bone from the palm directly again towards the forearm. So once you rotate this up, aligning directly next to your solar plex, your tips of your thumbs should be covering your solar plex. From here, you're going to snap the wrist forward and down, because you're attacking someone here in the stomach or in the chest to knock them back. right? That's what this technique is for. It's to very simply place someone here and knock them back. You can go here as well, but it's more towards knocking somebody towards the stomach to knock them back. So, from here, left over right, right over left, it doesn't matter. You're going to pull the elbows out, pulling the forearms directly over each arm. Fingertips need to be at the edge of each arm, not here, here. Because this is also a technique to where you're shifting the body off, but that's in the next technique, that's in the next set, okay? Also remember this, I know I'm throwing things in, but also remember, each form is called a set. It's not called a form, it's called a set. So we are still in the Seo Nim Tao set. People will call it the Seo Nim Tao form. It is actually a set of techniques. So it's the set that we're in right now. So from here, pull the forearms up and pull the elbows up. Even with your shoulder, pulling the forearms directly in front of your chest, not towards your chin, right at your chest level. Your elbows are even with your shoulders. Hands are not touching. There's a space in between. You always want to learn to have a space in between so that you're not touching your own arms, because this is the easiest way to get trapped. So from here, you're pushing the elbows out first and flicking the forearms, right? So go back from here, push the elbows out and flick the forearms out. This is a strike. These are called a facile strike, right? From here, you're going to pull the forearms back on the opposite position. So if you started with right on top of left, after you facile, you want to go left on top of right. Right? This is for the facile technique. Right? So as a punch comes in, you can facile. Facile. If you're on the side of someone and someone comes in, you can facile. 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 Aligning the forearm to attack the incoming strike, and then shoot the arm out to strike the neck, along the carotid artery, the side of the ear, along the jugular, or even the arm, so that now you can come in and make the next attack. From here, you want to rotate the hands up. Again, just like as you did here, rotating up. You want to rotate the hands up, dropping your elbows down, bringing the palms directly in front of you. You want the palms here, in front, facing up, but facing towards each other as though you're cupping a bowl. Okay? From here, you're going to jutsu, which means simply dropping the wrist very hard. Snapping the wrist is a jutsu. So, from the palming position, you're going to use a jutsu. So you're coming here, from here, you're now going to go from here, from the palming position, which is a controlling position. This is a controlling position, so that you can strike from here. You can control here, around. You can control here with the jumsao. This is a jumsao. Jumsao is the entire arm. So you're using a jumsao here as a way to control, as a way to attack. Anything you can use the jumsao for, this is what this is for. You're learning the jumsao. So from here, you rotate this up into the jumsao using both arms. From here, you're now using the upper tan. You rotate the wrist up, palms up, attacking the elbow of the person that's attacking you. They may have a hold on you, trying to push you back. This attacks the arm, locking the elbow or pushing the arms up out of the way. So from the jumsao, we open the palms up, pressing the hands up, pushing the entire forearm up from the elbow. Again, remember, it's not your palms, it is your elbows that are doing this. Okay, so push the elbows up. From here, you're rotating the hand over. So if I push this arm up, I can't just do this because I may miss. I have to take control. So once I pop the elbow up, I rotate the wrist over on top of the arm so that now I can control it. So again, from here, we push the arm up, rotate the wrist on top, pulling the elbows and the forearm at the same time down, pulling the elbow in line towards the abdomen. Now, with our fingers straightened, we push the fingers straight. We're going to straighten the arm out because this is either a throat jab, an eye jab, or a way to line your hand up to go into another palm strike towards the face. But this is primarily for a throat jab or a finger jab or an eyeball jab. So you're either going for the throat or the eyes, one of the two. Again, from here, start here. We'll start here. Jump sao, pulling down, double tan sao up, hon sao around to the lower palm, pushing forward into the throat jab or the eye jab. Now, pull the wrist down, flick the wrist up, and pull the entire arm down with the elbows locked. Again, this is also a jump sao. This is a tanda jump sao. So you're pulling the palm down. You're pulling the palm down. So if someone actually has you here, you can use the double jump sao here. And now this is to strike the chin. To shoot up and strike the chin. So again, from the fac-sao position, the beginning of the fac-sao position, you rotate the elbows down, the palms up, palms facing each other, cupping a bowl, bringing the entire arm down. From here, push the palms up into a double tan sao position, rotating the hands over in a hon sao type style, over to the top of the arms, pulling the elbows and forearms down. The hand and the forearm must be solid. Can't be bent, has to be straight on. The alignment must be perfect. Or there must be a straight line alignment from the hand to the wrist. So pulling that down, shooting forward into the throat or eyes, pulling the arms down. As someone might have you on your chest, you can push the arms all the way down, pulling them in. That actually pulls them in. You're here, now from here, throat jab or eye jab. So now from here, turn the palms over, back into a full sao position, rotating around, ball the fist up, around, dropping both elbows, pulling them back. All right? So I hope everybody has this so far from this point. These are the techniques you need to work on to get this to become more comfortable with the Seonam towel. Run this back as many times as you need to get comfortable with this. Run this back. Do it again and again. Run it back. I will be explaining these techniques on the next video so that you guys have a way of training on them over the next couple of weeks. All right? Or however long this is going to go. But I'm only going to build on top of this as each week goes in. I'm only going to build on top of this until you have something to train on for at least a month. All right? So if this works, and if we're out a little bit longer, you will have everything you need to train at home. Right? You'll have everything you need. The next video will also show you how to use anything you have at home. If you don't have a punch bob, you can use what you have at home. You can use walls, the edges of walls to utilize these techniques, right? I'll show you how to do all of that if you don't, because with the COVID-19 going on right now, with this virus happening right now, making physical contact with other people isn't recommended at all, and I don't recommend this to anyone unless you have a family member there with you. And please be safe and be healthy. Wash your arms all the way up to your elbows. All right. Use hand sanitizer all the way up to your elbows. Hey guys, if you can't find any, go to your local dollar store. I just found some the other day at the dollar store. Okay, couldn't find it at Walmart or Walgreens, but I found it at a dollar store. So go to your local Dollar Tree or Dollar Junction. They should have some. So from here, guys, I'm gonna finish this up. I'm gonna finish up the ceiling tile. This part will be for James. Right? This part will be for James, and so that he also, I'm going to take James into the first section of the Chum-Q so that he can get comfortable with that again. And with James, I'm just going to blow through the first section. I'm going to explain it a little bit. I'm going to blow through it though, and then I will get into how to use these techniques, guys, how to become more comfortable. For everyone that has a punch bob, I recommend that you get the punch bob jacket. Get it. It will help. Over the next couple of weeks, I am going to order a Wingtsun jacket, the jacket of the Wingtsun arms, so that I can take you guys through the first section of the wooden dummy, so that you have it. Also, later, if I continue doing this for you guys, but I think more than likely you'll be getting it directly from me. We'll be going through the butterfly swords and the 6.5 section pole. And then I'll give you the official names for it. That's not really important. But I'll give you the official names if you need it. So this is the third section of the Chum-Q, of the Seonim towel. Sorry, this is the third section of the Seonim towel. For everyone who has the sections before this, practice what I've shown you. Now I'm going to blow through this third section. Remember each technique and how each position was done. I'm going to go straight through this. James, this is for you. This is also for everyone else, as you can train on this so that you can have a better understanding. I'm not going to just speed through it, but I'm going to stop the talking and the explanation of everything, and I'm just going to go through it. All right. Some things I may explain later for the next video, but this right now, I'm going to get through this video. And from this point, once I go into the Chum-Q, first section of the Chum-Q, again, this is for James. James, I know you got a punch bob, so you'll be able to go through this stuff that I'm about to show. You'll be able to go through it. Bob, I know you're looking for one. I'm still looking to help you out, but enough talk, let's get into it. Now this I'll explain. I'll also go back and explain again how to create a bong sao and what the turning of this wrist is for, what the jump sao to here is for. I'll explain it. So, very quickly, let me finish. This is freeing hands. So, as you put your palm out forward, this is if someone has your wrist and they're trying to control your arm. So So you're going to turn your palm outward, keeping your elbow relaxed and not locked so that they can't grab your wrist and lock your elbow and break your arm. So as they grab, immediately you're going to rotate the wrist slightly with the palm facing down but away from you. You're going to take your other hand, bend your wrist completely. You're going to bend the wrist and put some tension to this wrist. It can't be relaxed, it has to be tension. You're going to lay it directly over your forearm, at the base of your forearm. At the base of your elbow, at the base of your elbow, at the top of your forearm. From here, you're going to press down into the forearm, and to create freeing hands, I'm going to go through it, then I'll explain it. So, 1, 2, 3. So, from here, guys, you're bringing the wrist down in front of you, away from you. You never want it close. If they try to push it in close, you sink into this, pushing your arm away from you. Right? You don't let it get close. You want to push it away from you. By lifting the elbow and the forearm, if they're pushed, lift the elbow more so that it goes out. All right? You want to lift, again, let me explain. You want to lift the elbow up. As they press the forearm down, you want to lift the elbow up and push the forearm and the elbow back towards them as you sink further into your stance. Right? Now, what this does is that the edge of the bone on your wrist, this bone here, that bone that connects the wrist and the forearm, you're going to slide that directly down into the joint of the hand of the person that's holding you. So you're slamming into it, and as you're slamming down, pulling your hand down, you're pulling your elbow back. You're not pulling your shoulder, you're simply pulling the elbow back to free it. But you're doing two actions. One, you're pushing your hand down into the wrist. The other action is you're pulling the hand back to free it. So you're going to slam into the joint or into the bone of their hand, and it's going to hurt them way more than it's going to hurt you. Because now you're covered by all of this muscle here and the palm. You're covered. So you're going to turn it out so that now their joint is actually pointed out. Because as you grab someone, once they turn their wrist out, now the joint is facing up. The joint is facing up, and that's what you want. They grab it here, trying to control it. You want to turn your wrist so that their palm is, so that the joint, the bend, the joint here, right here, is facing up, so that now your bone collides into that joint, causing a lot of pain. So again, from here, pull, push, same time, very hard. 1. Repeat on the opposite side, turning the palm slightly so it's pointed down but away from you, keeping the elbow slightly bent. Place the wrist, the entire wrist on your elbow, not your palm, your entire wrist. Your hand should be over your arm so that you can pull the entire thing free. So again, it's 2, 3 times to keep both hands trained. 3. Once you complete this, you go directly into a Kung punch, into a 4 straight punch, keeping this arm locked and then bent, locked and bend, lock and bend, lock and bend. You don't want to lock it and keep it there because somebody can grab it and break it. Once this is completed, you relax the elbow. Don't pull the hand back. Relax the elbow. But this, now, you come to the point of your Wusao position. Remember, as you pulled the hand back from the Mansao position, when you pull the hand back to here, this second position is called Wusao. This is your second line of protection. If someone gets past your Mansao by pushing this out of the way, now your Wusao is activated immediately. Or your Wusao is activated to become a palm strike, to become a Jumsao, or a Kunsao, or striking directly into the person. So again, your Mansao, your Wusao. When your man sao is deactivated, your wu sao activates. This is why this is here. This is your primary line. Wu sao, man sao. The man sao is attacked, the wu sao takes over. This is why the palm comes down and the elbow is slightly bent when they pull the arm down. You don't let them press it into you. You allow the elbow to bend some, and you have the palm facing. So if they try to pull this down, you rotate this up. This is why you learn in the very beginning from the first double tan sao position to push down and rotate back up. You just learned your first rotation. That's why we do it. And that's why it has to be done very relaxed, without tension. Every movement in here is done without tension except for freeing of hands. That's done with tension because you're going to have to. But the moment it's done, it's back to relaxation. Right? Once freeing hands is done, it's 3 shots. 1, 2, 3. Pulling this hand back to here, to the start position. Tan sao, hun sao, kun. Drop the elbow, pull it back so that now you can go directly into the chum kiu, right? So everything in Wing Chun is done to lead into the next thing. I told you guys this once before, and I'm going to say it again, that every single movement in Wing Chun is based on attacking and transitioning from one technique to the next, from one technique to the next, from one technique to the next, to one technique to the next. That's what this is about. It's not about blocking. It's about redirection. It's about deflection. It's about canceling. We cancel, we redirect, and we deflect. That's what we do. We don't block ever in Wing Chun, ever. James, I don't want to take you into the chum kiu as I'm thinking about it. You've been gone for a minute. And I want to keep you here at the base, at the end of the Siu Nim Tao. And then as I see you, I'll take you back into the beginning of the chum kiu so that you can physically, so I need to see where you're at so that I can get you back into it. For everyone else, this is basics. This is stuff you can do, right? For Bob, back to you. For chain punches, again, you want the chain punches to come from the center. You want them to be pushed with the elbow as you lock. You don't want to snap the elbow because now you're starting to do damage. That's where you get tennis elbow, is by doing this. That causes tennis elbow. By simply straightening the arm out and extending it and locking the wrist at the end, there's not a lot of stress placed on the elbow. So if you have to make sure that you're extending the arm all the way out. That's why I say go very slowly. From here, okay guys, from here, I'm going to start again, 1 fist length or 1.5 inches away from the chest, and you want to, so remember guys, from here, you want to start 1.5 inches away from the chest, and you want to push the elbow out to where the arm locks. You don't want to go here and then lock and drop the fist. You don't want your fist to drop. You want the arm to go up, pushing the elbow forward until it locks. Up until it locks. And as this hand closes, and let me show you this way, as your hand closes, it locks at the very end. It doesn't lock before, it locks at the very end of the punch. Not here and then punches, because now you're tensing the arm up. You want that relaxation, you want that snap to happen as you push the punch forward. And you're pushing the elbow. So Bob, you're going to line up here, pushing one arm out, lining the other one up at the elbow with the hand open. So as you as you pull the elbow back, this hand comes up from here, directly behind, and now it starts to close as it's pushing forward. You're pulling this elbow back, and you're pushing this elbow forward. Not the hand, the elbow. And this is for everybody, because a lot of you are making this mistake. Push the elbow forward, allowing the arm to travel. As this elbow is pulled back, I want you to notice here, hand goes under and back up, under and up, under and up. You're not punching over this arm to keep this arm straight. This arm drops out of the way of the outgoing arm so that you're not colliding into your arms. It's here, down, under, as this arm is pushed forward, out. Now this relaxes. So that if this is hit, you can very easily rotate it back. It can be rotated, pushed. You can shift with it to go into the next position here. But you don't want to lock this arm and keep it locked and then try and punch with this arm, because now somebody grabs this, they can break your arm. So again, Bob, this is for you. Starting here, pull this elbow down, pull the hand back, the forearm back, elbow and forearm, as this arm is pushed forward. From this position, you're going behind the hand, behind it. As this hand comes back, this aligns behind the other hand. As this goes under, this straightens out. So again, it's here, out. As this pulls back, this pushes out. So it's not the hands at all, it is simply the arms. There's very little stress on this. So again, you're punching towards the center of the body, closing the fist completely as it extends out. After you punch, relax the elbow. Lock, relax. Lock, relax. Lock, relax. Now, you don't, from here, you don't want to lock and pull. You want to lock and relax, because you want to maintain this distance in case you punch and now here comes a shot from someone else. You want to be able to stop this from here to launch the next punch, or if the punch is coming in too heavy, you want to hit, as this arm hits, you want to rotate. Or from this side, as you punch and it hits, you don't want your arm all the way back here where now you have to come back forward again. You want it out and bent so this arm runs into this arm, so that now you can use this. All right? You understand? So you don't want to pull the arm back. You want to drop the elbow, allowing the wrist to come back into the center, but up under the outgoing arm. Now, the best way to train this is not to close the fist at all. To keep the hand open, punch, keeping the hand open, so that you learn to only use your elbow and not, so that you learn to only use the elbow and not the fist. All right? And that's what you want to do. So now we'll get into techniques. Now we're going to get into techniques. All right? So guys, now we're going to get into the technique section. So for Bob, chain punches. Punch, and then punch towards the side. Punch to the side for an incoming shot. If an incoming punch is coming, punch towards the side. Punch into it, punch over the hand again. Again, a punch is coming in, punch into the arm, and then punch over the arm to continue punching. All right? You're punching with the entire forearm into the arm to destroy it. This is for everybody else as well, but this is specifically for Bob. You can deflect a punch with a punch. All right? So, punch comes in, destroy the punch, lining your hand up to go from the elbow straight into the next shot. Right? Same thing. Deflect over. Deflect over. Coming from the elbow right into the next shot. If a hook punch is coming, punch into the arm and then punch forward. And bring the hand back to the center so that you can start punching again. All right? See, Bob, because you're a fighter, I don't have to get baby with you on this, but again, punch, punch back. 3 shots. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And then everyone can train on this. Everybody. For LaShawn and Tim, you're going to learn to park and step the way I showed you in a triangle shape. So, there. Back and down. Nope. Down a little further. Down a little further. There we go. Okay, so guys, what you're going to do is remember the tip of the triangle is at you going out. Tip of the triangle from you going out. All right? So you're going to step, park, and you're going to step out, turning your hip and shoulder towards the opponent. Step, park, bringing. So if you're stepping to your right foot steps out, and your shoulder and hip lead with it, turning your body. But don't go away from your opponent. But you stay very close to them. Very, very close. If this is him, I don't want to be all the way over here. I want to step very close to my opponent. Very close. So, you step with the park. Lead with your hands. Guys, always lead with your hands. Don't step and strike. Strike and step. All right? Even with the chain punches. Punch and step. So that your body weight comes behind the second shot. You can continue. All right? So again, step along the triangle lines. Bring this foot up in front. And from here, punch over.